Hello, my name is Levi Wolff. My wife and I serve as the spiritual leaders here, and welcome to our synagogue, the Central Synagogue in Sydney, Australia. From my earliest memories, I have always felt a burning desire to serve community and to try and make a difference by helping people grow spiritually and connect to their Maker, connect to God. There is no doubt that this passion was instilled in me by my mentor and spiritual leader, the late Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who actually passed away 30 years this month back in Brooklyn, New York. I hope to impart with you universal messages, Judeo-Christian values that I believe are important as ever today, like they've ever been. Today, more than ever. This week marked the 80th anniversary of the storming of Normandy on D-Day, when the Allies stormed the beaches in June of 1944. Between that date and the end of the war in the European theater, we saw 39,000 Australian soldiers killed and 407 American soldiers lost in action. So why was that war necessary? I know this seems like a basic question, but you know, we live in a morally confused world, and there are many people today who don't understand why a war like that was even necessary. And the answer is actually quite simple. Because the Nazis were in fact an evil regime hell-bent on global domination. It's just as simple as that. Had the Allies not intervened in World War II, the end of the war would have seen German domination of the entire European continent and, of course, the rest of the world. The real question that we ought to be thinking about today on the 80th anniversary of D-Day is where do we find today such extraordinary heroism, bravery, like the 20 to 21-year-olds who stormed the beaches, running uphill into machine gunfire to liberate a continent none of them had ever even visited. And the question we ought to think about is, how was a generation like D-Day raised? What moral values did they have so that we too can instill those things within our children, within our families? I think the answer is that they were raised in church. Listen to this. Church membership in 1937 was 73%. According to a Gallup poll, 96% of the people in the 1930s and 40s believed in God. Yep. The West has spent the 4 generations since D-Day removing all the supporting institutions of biblical values in the name of individualism, where your feelings are all that really matter. You know, we've just come from the Jewish holiday called Shavuot. It is the annual time of year where we all come to synagogue and we read out in front of our families the very famous 10 Commandments, which are found in the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. We have replaced the first of the 10 Commandments, I am your God, with only the words, I am. We have gotten rid of I am your God and have now been left with only the words, I am. It's all become about me, my feelings, my interests, and because of that, we now almost have an obnoxiously self-absorbed generation who's focused only on themselves. It turns out, surprise, surprise, we have now come to learn that going to church and believing in Judeo-Christian values instills in you a belief that you are part of something bigger and more important than just yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, I look forward to being able to take a journey along with you on this magnificent TV channel and hopefully help you internalize some of the most valuable and timeless Judeo-Christian lessons for life. God bless you, and God bless Australia.